welcome to the North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak, and my guest today is Chapter President of the National Agri-Marketing Association. He's also owner, VP, GM, and Corporate Sales Manager at Lee Newspapers, and he resides in Sharon Springs, New York. I would like to welcome Bruce Button. Welcome, Bruce, and thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, Chrissy.
So can you tell me a bit about yourself and your background to start with?
All right. Well, Sharon Springs is a really little town, so I either worked on your farm or worked in the village at one of the resort hotels at the time. But no, I spent my time on the farm as a small dairy farm, and probably when I was about 12, the herd was sold off, and I continued to raise beef animals and put in some hay and like that. And then I went off to college and decided being a full-time farmer wasn't going to be for me, so went to work for my current company 43 years ago and haven't looked back. So I'm very fortunate that we are involved in agriculture with our trade publications and trade shows. So I still get to play with the machinery once in a while and get to talk to all the great agricultural people in the industry, whether they're on the producer side or on the manufacturer side.
Yeah, that's great. And Lee Publishing is, how many different publications are there?
Let's see, 4, 7. We have 9 print publications.
Wow.
And we've got a completely digital one that goes to the construction industry. And we got a new one we're launching this fall that's going to be more rural living type. It's going to be totally digital.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great. And I am really excited about my first farm show back after the pandemic, Empire Farm Days, which Lee Publishing acquired was last year, right?
Correct. Back January of 2020.
And how did that go?
Well, the first 3 months of 2020 were awesome. We were selling a lot of space and everybody's excited. And then, March hit and things didn't go so well since then. But I don't know. We kind of looking back, it was kind of a blessing. It gave us a time to kind of regroup because at that point in time, we really pretty much had to do everything kind of as it was already set up. And as longtime exhibitors at Empire Farm Days, we noticed how it'd been going, and said, well, if we owned it, we would do this, and that's well, now we do. So made a lot of changes, had some time, and I had reached out to Dan Palladino from Palladino Farms in Pompey, New York, and I said, hey, what are you interested in considering hosting Empire Farm Days? And he got back to me rather quickly. I remember it was on a Saturday night, and I don't know what month that was, maybe last June or probably May, whenever we finally found out we weren't going to be able to do the show up in Seneca County. So he got back to me right away. I was all excited because they had hosted it at least 5 times previously, and he loves the nostalgia of it. He remembers mowing the lawns during that time because he was like 12. And so he remembers his father and grandfather being involved in it. So I'd been kind of following his business. He's got a really nice farm operation, but he also has a brewery and restaurant operation on site, which is really
is that
gorgeous.
Right? Wow.
And so he's very well known in the area, and so we're very excited to team up with them for the next at least 8 years.
Really? Oh, that is great. Yeah. And so it'll be sad we don't get to eat in Auburn and and do the normal things for Empire, but in Seneca Falls.
But we're right outside of Syracuse, so there's a lot of access to a lot more, hotel rooms. Yes. I know a lot of the sales reps travel and use their favorite chains. Well, everybody's there. Yeah. And so there's definitely a lot of options for eating, and we're very centrally located now because we're not very far from the intersection of 81 and 90, so very easy to get to.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think I got a good feeling about this for sure.
Yeah.
And so what are some highlights of the show?
Well, some of the things that we've we've changed. Obviously, the location has changed. Um, People first they'll notice is just a physical change. We have two main roads, so there's a lot of prime locations for our exhibitors. Um, we're kind of adding things in as we can because again, this is a lot of new things. But we're going to be doing a skid steer rodeo
Wow.
that attendees can participate in. Plus, we're going to be having a celebrity one where Dan Palladino is going to be competing against local TV, radio personalities
Oh,
like
wow.
that. We are going to have several of the exhibitors are going to have demonstration areas where they can get on the equipment and try it out. So that's something that's not really new, but it's going to be very convenient to do. FFA is going to be doing their welding and driving competitions also. Some of
Mhm.
those things are carried over. But we got quite a few new exhibitors in there. Some exciting new technology that's going to be featured. So it it won't be the same old, same old. Let me put
Yeah.
it that way. So we're excited about the new exhibitors we got coming in, and just the entire look of the show. It's just I mean, to me, it's a gorgeous location. It just you can see Syracuse from there. You can see the Carrier Dome from up
Oh,
there.
really?
It's yeah, should be a nice breeze up there pretty much all the time. So that'll
Nice.
help.
Yeah, I remember some hot days at in Seneca Falls.
Yeah, the one
That's
thing
good.
we got there too is if it gets really hot and whatever, I mean it's just a short walk off site up to the Heritage Hill Brew House, which is a nice big air conditioned venue where you can have a nice cold beverage and a
That will be popular.
really nice meal if you want. And
Mhm.
so we are going to have some really really good food right on site, but
Mhm.
I can see some people making a short trek up there to cool off and relax, or take your customer up there and
Yeah.
treat them to a nice adult beverage or
Mhm.
not adult beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So how many exhibitors are you anticipating?
We hope to hit 400. We're
Nice.
almost there now.
Mhm.
Um, it's a yeah, the supposedly the pandemic is over, but it has really affected the supply chain, and then
Yeah.
some of the you know incentives have been out there. I guess I'll just call them disincentives to work. Um, we have a lot of exhibitors that are kind of just waiting, and they need help,
Mhm.
and they can't be in two places at once.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some inventory issues here and there that are holding people back. So you know I've told them we'll take you in. You let us know the week before the show, we'll get you in there. So
That's good to know.
uh, I think there's going to be a lot of that. Just
Mhm.
they got to see what's still on their lot that they can bring to show. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And any idea what you're expecting in terms of attendance at all?
well, we've been doing trade shows for 30 plus years, and
Mhm.
I guess one of the things we do is not overinflate figures.
Yeah.
Um, we tell exhibitors how many people came through the show, say our Keystone Farm show, and they're like, that's not possible. There had to be 50,000 people here, and we're like, no, there was 12,000 people here.
Right.
Just everybody visualize it.
Mhm.
Um, in the past, I think they claimed 60,000 people came to Empire Farm Days. We're looking for 20.
Yeah.
We're looking
Nice.
for 20.
Yeah,
We
that
get
that'll do
20,000
for
people
sure.
through there in the 3 days. We'll be more than happy.
Mhm.
But again, we want the right people there.
Yeah.
We've done some different things with marketing that hasn't been done before, and we do have the advantage of our own farm publications and social
Mhm.
media and like that can really help target this audience.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. And yeah, so Keystone was it the first trade show in the East to actually go ahead as normal?
Yes, we actually put on a very successful show in January of this year down in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
A
I
lot of
missed
people
it
said,
this year, but
a lot of people said, how'd you do that? I said, I don't know. Nobody told us we couldn't, so we just did it. And we probably, normally we have about 500 exhibitors there and 10 buildings. We had probably 350 exhibitors
Wow.
and 4 buildings.
Wow. So you're
And
probably just missing all the Canadians then, right?
yeah, yeah. And, the attendance was off, but the exhibitors all said, the people they wanted to see were there. It was a very quality crowd of farmers. So, we figure we probably had about 8,000 attendees, over the 3 days, but it was a very successful show. And yeah, it was kind of a breath of fresh air to have that come off. And
I guess. Yeah, that
yeah,
I heard about Wish so bad I could have been there. Hopefully next winter I'll be able to go to that one too.
yep,
Yeah. And there's actually something really interesting that I've thought a lot about over the last year. I remember back in 2019 doing the circuit like we've always done. And a lot of people were saying that the trade shows are dying. I just heard it over and over and over again in 2019. Oh, trade shows are dying. Now people can't wait to get back. And
yeah,
it's really amazing to me, that what everybody's saying, that I know manufacturers are really excited about diving into the digital age, but
yeah,
there's something missing.
yeah. You need the personal meeting, and the person can ask questions and right there, and the product guys are there that can answer the questions. And yeah, we're involved in several different, markets. We have commercial horticultural publications, and again, all those big trade shows were canceled, and there's a lot of pent up demand, I guess I would say. I've seen some major decorating companies that are in the industry putting out, I've been on the receiving end of emails. Hey, take the survey. How do you feel about in-person
Mhm.
meetings? Do you feel comfortable and all that? And they've done, over the last year, probably gotten 6 of those.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, especially the ag community, they really aren't, they weren't that upset about this whole thing. They wanted to be out and talk to the manufacturers and the dealers, and so there's
And
a
each
lot.
other, right? It's,
Yeah,
a lot of
these are,
farmers live a lonely life with
it's
their
a
own
small
family.
community. They all
Yeah.
know each other, and they want to get together. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then I know touched on this a little bit before, but looking back over the last year, what are your main takeaways from the pandemic? What have we learned?
Well, I think we learned, as a lot of other companies, that you had to be able to work remotely and
Mhm.
rely on our technology a lot more. And again, to a certain extent, that was fairly successful. It was a cost saving things, but
Mhm.
I think at a cost of that relationship, where you could see people face to face. But as we go back into it, we're not jumping into it and saying, okay, well, now you got to go see those guys every single week. Maybe you can see them once a month and use technology in between.
Yeah.
We have sales reps all over the country, so now we have Zoom meetings, and that's actually kind of nice. Actually, see their faces and whatever, because before it was on the phone or email and like that. So um, yeah, some of the things that I don't know if they're good takeaways, but again, this whole supply chain disruption,
Yeah.
really didn't see that coming. It's like,
Especially the way it's played out in ag. It's just been so interesting to watch how
yeah,
it's affected, not really the way we would have predicted, right?
yeah, and it's all different industries. I just talked to our one gal that handles our cell phones, where she said one of our employees, their phone crapped out or whatever, and she went online to, well, he's one of these guys that doesn't like to change. So she's like, well, I'm going to get the latest and best one, so he can hang on to her for 5 years and won't be a problem.
Mhm.
Couldn't get it, but you could get it and order it and get it in September. Well, he needs one now, so she had to actually have to order an older model to get it.
Yeah.
Talking to some outdoor power equipment manufacturers, and they said, yeah, they usually have 80,000 units out at dealerships, and right now they got 30,000 units, and they're kind of getting sold as they end up on the yard. So they're going,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
pickup trucks are a big, if you're going to be ordering one now, because if you go look at a truck lot, there's probably not very many there.
It's amazing. It's definitely not what I would have thought would have happened a year after. I thought
Nope.
sales would be down. Instead, it's a huge demand. It's just crazy.
We're seeing commodity prices go crazy, lumber, whatever else. I was planning on putting a above ground pool in this year and a deck, and I still am, but the budget's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I was amazed that the different style of pools weren't available. Like, well, no, we don't have that when we can't get it. So, what size round pool do you want?
Yeah.
I'm going, all right, I want a pool. It's going to be a round one.
Yeah. Wow, that's something you wouldn't think about either. I tried to buy siding and I had to pick like my third or fourth color choice because the resin wasn't available to make the siding. Who would have thought that would be a ramification of this?
Yeah, no, it's I'll be glad to get this all behind us. So
me too. So what do you think is our biggest opportunity that agriculture faces after all of this?
The biggest opportunities? Oh boy. Well, I think still anytime there's a disruption, I think technology comes to the forefront, especially if farmers, they get to sit back and say, hey, what can we do more efficiently, cheaper, any more cost effective, so people that are in that end of things, I mean, whether it's the manufacturing end, the equipment end, these guys are very dependent on their equipment. It's got to stay up and running, and technology has played a huge part in that. And I continue to see that come along. And, now with this, labor shortage, that's another one that forces it, even with us, with our publishing business over the years, as it gets harder and harder to hire people, you get machinery that'll replace them, so, it's just the way it is. I mean, employees are expensive and they don't always show up to work. Sometimes you can't find them, that type of thing. And, so I see that as a continued trend. Anything that's going to help people do things, do the same job with less people. I mean, robotics they're almost the norm now. I mean, if somebody's looking to make a change, you see them talking to all the robotic milking equipment manufacturers and say, hey, what can you do for us? And I followed a few transitions. It's, some of the farmers are a little cautious, and then they're like, wow, that went smoother than I thought, so, it's going to become definitely more of the norm as we move forward.
Yeah, that's good. And so where can people find more information about Empire Farm Days?
Well, obviously any social media, if you put in Empire Farm Days, you're going to find us. EmpireFarmDays.com is our website. You can find anything up there. We keep updating that. You can see the list of exhibitors and the map of the grounds and what's going on there. We're just kind of updating our frequently asked questions, so you know what to expect there. Yes, there's golf carts for rent.
Perfect.
No, you can't bring a dog. Let's see. Here's where it is. Here's where you can stay. That type of thing. All those type of questions are constantly updated up there.
Great. That's good. And then I have one last question. So what are you most passionate about? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Oh, God. I just, I guess, if you looked at my Facebook page, I love life. I just enjoy getting up in the morning, getting going. I love my employees. I like to make sure they're successful. And then, at a personal basis, I just like helping out. My wife and I are foster parents. We also coach a Special Olympics volleyball team, which has been very disappointing. Those people have almost been in lockdown for the last year. They haven't been allowed to go do anything, and this was always something they really enjoyed getting out and doing. So we're looking for that to come back to normal so we can get back involved with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Giving back has so
Yep.
much reward, right?
Yep. No,
Mhm.
I think I've accomplished everything I wanted to do in life. Now I just want to enjoy it and
Yeah.
do whatever I can to, like I said, give back.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Bruce.
All right,
And
Chrissy.
and I
Good
look
to see
forward
you.
to seeing you soon. Yeah. And thanks to everybody who's watching or listening. If you want more information, the links are provided in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe to our North American Ag Spotlight YouTube channel and podcast, which is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.